Chapter 4, Active Directory Objects. Introduction. Welcome back. In the previous chapter, we explored domain controllers and FSMO roles, learning how Active Directory coordinates critical operations across the domain and forest. Now we're going to focus on the building blocks that make Active Directory useful in the first place. Active Directory Objects. Everything stored within Active Directory exists as an object. Users are objects. Computers are objects. Groups are objects. Printers, service accounts, organizational units, and even many configuration settings are represented as objects. Every object contains attributes, follows rules defined by the schema, and participates in authentication, authorization, or administration. Understanding the object model is essential because every administrative task in Active Directory ultimately involves creating, modifying, securing, or deleting objects. In this chapter, we'll examine user objects, group objects, computer objects, group-managed service accounts, and the importance of proper lifecycle management. Let's begin with the most common object type found in Active Directory, users. Section 1, User Objects. User accounts are the foundation of identity management within Active Directory. Whenever an employee logs into a workstation, accesses a shared folder, opens Microsoft Outlook, or connects to an application, Active Directory relies on a user object to identify and authenticate that individual. Each user object contains a large collection of attributes. Some attributes are required, while others are optional. One of the most important attributes is the user principal name, commonly known as the UPN. The UPN typically appears in the format username@company.com and provides a user-friendly sign-in experience. Another important attribute is the sAMAccountName. This is the legacy logon name used by older systems and applications. Although modern environments often rely on UPNs, the sAMAccountName remains important for compatibility. User objects also contain security-related information. Passwords themselves are never stored in plain text. Instead, Active Directory stores password hashes that are used during authentication processes. Beyond authentication data, user objects may contain contact information such as phone numbers, email addresses, department names, office locations, and manager relationships. These attributes support collaboration tools, address books, reporting systems, and identity governance solutions. Organizations often customize additional attributes to meet specific business requirements. Because user accounts provide access to organizational resources, they must be managed carefully. Creating accurate accounts, maintaining attribute consistency, and promptly removing unnecessary access are essential security practices. The quality of identity management directly impacts the overall security posture of the organization. Section 2, Group Objects and Access Control. While users represent individual identities, groups provide a scalable way to manage permissions. Imagine an organization with hundreds or thousands of employees. Assigning permissions directly to every user would quickly become unmanageable. Instead, administrators place users into groups and assign permissions to those groups. This approach simplifies administration and improves consistency. Active Directory supports several different group types and scopes. However, one of the most important concepts administrators should understand is AGDLP. AGDLP is considered an industry-standard methodology for permission management. The acronym stands for Accounts go into global groups go into domain local groups. Permissions are assigned to domain local groups. Let's examine how this works. Suppose an organization has a finance department. All finance employees are placed into a finance global group. That global group is then added to a domain local group that controls access to a financial application or shared folder. Permissions are assigned only to the domain local group. When a new employee joins the finance department, Administrators simply add the user to the Finance Global group. The user automatically receives access through the existing permission structure. This model creates a clean separation between people and resources. It improves scalability, simplifies auditing, and reduces administrative complexity. Groups also play a critical role in security. Many administrative privileges are granted through group membership rather than direct assignment. Because of this, administrators should regularly review group memberships and remove unnecessary privileges whenever possible. Strong group management is one of the most effective ways to enforce the principle of least privilege. Section 3. Computer objects. Computers are also represented as objects within Active Directory. Whenever a workstation or server joins a domain, Active Directory creates a computer account for that device. Many administrators focus primarily on user authentication, but computer authentication is equally important. Every computer account possesses its own credentials. These credentials are used to establish trust between the device and the domain. One of the most interesting aspects of computer accounts is that Windows automatically changes the machine account password on a regular basis. By default, this occurs approximately every 30 days. This automatic password rotation helps strengthen security and reduces the risk associated with long-lived credentials. Computer objects also serve as the foundation for many core Active Directory services. Group policy settings are applied to computer objects. Software deployment solutions frequently target computer accounts. Kerberos authentication relies heavily on trusted computer identities. Because of this, administrators should carefully manage computer objects throughout their lifecycle. Unused computers should be disabled and eventually removed. Maintaining accurate computer inventories improves both security and operational efficiency. Section 4. Group Managed Service Accounts. Service accounts have historically been one of the most difficult areas of Active Directory administration. Traditional service accounts often use passwords that rarely change. When passwords expire unexpectedly, critical applications can fail. Many administrators have experienced late-night outages caused by forgotten service account password updates. To solve this challenge, Microsoft introduced Group Managed Service Accounts, commonly known as gMSAs. A gMSA is a special Active Directory object designed specifically for services and applications. The major advantage is automatic password management. Active Directory generates, stores, rotates, and distributes the password automatically. Administrators no longer need to manually track password expiration dates. Another significant benefit is shared usage. Multiple servers can use the same gMSA when running a distributed application or clustered service. This simplifies administration while maintaining strong security controls. Because of these advantages, gMSAs have become a recommended best practice for modern Windows environments. Whenever possible, organizations should replace traditional service accounts with group-managed service accounts. Section 5. Object Lifecycle Management. Creating objects is only one part of Active Directory administration. Administrators must also manage those objects throughout their entire lifecycle. When employees join the organization, accounts should be provisioned according to established standards. During employment, permissions and attributes should be reviewed regularly. When employees change roles, access should be adjusted appropriately. Most importantly, accounts should be disabled and removed when no longer required. The same principle applies to computer accounts. Devices that are retired, lost, or decommissioned should not remain active indefinitely. Stale objects are a common security risk. Attackers frequently target abandoned accounts because they are less likely to be monitored. Regular audits help identify inactive users, unused computers, obsolete groups, and unnecessary privileges. A clean Active Directory environment is easier to manage, easier to secure, and easier to audit. Chapter Summary. Let's review the key concepts from this chapter. Everything in Active Directory is represented as an object. User objects provide identity and authentication capabilities. Group objects simplify permission management and support scalable access control through models such as AGDLP. Computer objects establish trusted machine identities and enable group policy, Kerberos authentication, and software deployment. Group managed service accounts provide secure, automatically managed service identities for modern applications. Finally, proper lifecycle management ensures that Active Directory remains secure, accurate, and efficient over time. In the next chapter, we'll explore organizational units and delegation, learning how to structure Active Directory for scalability, administration, and security. See you in Chapter 5.